I'm trying to think of my sentence. Well, one thing I will say is that, well, there are some situations where where the parents could be the ones to blame for, like, not being with their child. But I mean, in this case, it's both the parents and video maker's fault, because, like, it's the parents' fault because, well, the parents should have more knowledge than that to they should know that, well, I mean, not to leave their child alone with a phone and internet. 'Cause, I mean, that is just a recipe for disaster. And two, the people who even make videos like that, which I've never really watched an inappropriate video. I mean, not deliberately, anyway. Again? I landed in the lava again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah! 6, 7, 8. Oh, are you serious? I beat him and then I die. Yes. My goodness. Anyway, so... But anyway, so like, the viewer, the people, but it's not just but then again, it's like, it's not just the fault of the parent. It's also, as for the people who make people videos like that, like, people like that should just really have more control about what they post. But anyway, but then again, the parents should have more sense than what they have about letting their children with a phone unattended. It's kind of like how on the news you'll sometimes, like, see parents complaining about violent video games and how they're making the world a violenter place. Please. First of all, the world is already a violent place as it is. And... okay, so... but anyway, so, like, you have this... so basically, what I'm talking about is, like, you have this... that scenario where, like, your child is playing a violent video game, and then... and then, like, as they're playing it, suddenly they get into their head the idea that, I blasted this guy with a bullet, and he got back up, and he died, but then he, like, pressed a button and got back up, and so that means that if I were to do that in real life, that that would happen. Okay, so first of all, any children who think that, let me tell you the sad truth. That is simply not how life works. There is no such thing as the reset button. Once you destroy someone, which in this case I'm using destroy as a synonym for kill, because it's... to me, that it seems less violent. If I lose my rings one more time, so, like, once you destroy someone, they can't be respawned back into life, and you have to live with the big mistake you've made. Anyway, so like, you have, like, the kid, so anyways, like, you have that one, like, dumb kid who, like, plays a game like, say, Call of Duty or something like that. I'm going to pretend that didn't happen. And then they get that idea in their head. They go kill a bunch of people. Suddenly they're arrested, which I mean makes sense because, well, that's not an okay thing to do. And then but then you have the, but then you have the parents. No, and then, but then, like afterward, like you have the parents like going on the news saying things like, "Oh my goodness, this game is a bad influence to children. It's or people. It's influencing violence." Which while I do agree that the world could honestly use a little less violence, I do have to disagree with parents who say that it's just the video game's fault, that the video game is just directly telling that the video game is just directly influencing the child to go do violent things. Like no parents, the video game itself is not what's influencing the children to do this violent stuff. Like, I have picked up many video games in my life, both violent, like Halo and Call of Duty, and non-violent, like Mario games. And not once when I picked up any of those games did the game just suddenly have a voice, grow a mouth, and then whisper into my ear, "Hey, how about you go and destroy some people over here in this place for me, okay?" No, that's never happened, and even the video game itself can't directly influence directly influence a child to do some violence. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How am I supposed to get over that? Thank you. Like, the video game itself can't can't directly tell a child to do violent things either, because, well, it's a video game, and video games are only able to do what they're pre-programmed to do. Or the parents might, but anyways, or the parents might not want to blame the video game, but instead might want to blame the video game manufacturer for even creating a game like that. Okay, again, much like how it's not the video game's fault that your child got turned into a violent person, it's also not the video game manufacturer's fault either. Okay, so now, for any parents watching this video, I know what you're thinking. Well, then if it's not the video game manufacturer's fault or the video game's fault, then whose fault is it? I'll tell you whose fault it is. No one but yours. That's right. You want to have a person to blame for the reason why your child turned violent from a video game? The only person you have to blame is yourself. for clearly not taking the time to teach your child that teach your child how life works, like teaching your child that destroying people is wrong and that there isn't a reset button. And it's also your fault for apparently not looking at the things that video game manufacturers put on their games for a reason, to make sure that children aren't playing the games at too young of an age. Yeah, that's right. Age. The little... You know what I'm talking about? I'll tell you what I'm talking about. The tiny letter at the corner of each game. At the corner of game cartridges. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. The ESRB rating stamp thing. Whatever it's called. Yeah, see that thing right there? That thing right there? I know this is an MRT rated game, but parents, this tiny little letter here isn't just there for decoration. And it's not just there to tell you how great the game is, either. Like, E doesn't, like, E, the E on the ratings, on the ESRB thing, doesn't mean E for entertaining. The